Bum, 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 bum. Welcome, guys. We are live. You get the lead in here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yo. Oh, where's Nate? I'm still waiting for him.
I know. I just tried to call him. I'm still waiting on Nate too.
I was like thinking, I guess we're gonna wait Nate. Oh no, you started it. I'm like, oh, we might as well have a chit chat a bit. I got some.
Oh, yeah. It's better
well, I
than all
guess-
that typing in crap, dude. So
What?
it's better than all that typing and stuff. Like,
Oh yeah, tell me, brother. I found out some like unexpected news, and I'm like, I guess Nate definitely warned me about this. Mercedes had a fight with Britt Baker.
well, like behind the scenes or
Behind the scenes.
that was bound to happen.
I'm like, because it says Britt Baker got suspended, and I'm thinking,
What?
yeah, and I'm thinking this has to be a storyline. This has to be a storyline because if it was
Now-
right, I was like,
Now, all you guys know, you wrestling fans from my channel know that I love Britt Baker. I just don't like her booking. Like, so that's why I make her as like one of my main people in all of my 2K seasons, because I think with the right booking, she could be like Charlotte levels of like over the top.
oh God, yes, I can believe that. That no factor can be argued. I'll say this: I liked the fact that she did her run. She was a banger as a champion. I mean, like every match just felt like you gotta watch just because. And ever since she dropped the title, she just hasn't been great. But it's like she kind of dialed it back as well because she wanted to take care of Adam Cole, and Adam Cole is still injured and he's moving and all the other stuff, and I'm thinking, geez, I'm still waiting for him. I'm still waiting for that. Like, hey, you can't just leave him to just be, oh yeah, MJF disposed him. Like, no, you can't leave him like that. No way. I need Adam Cole versus MJF part 3 or part 4. I need that so bad because there's a story ready, lock and loaded. But I am surprised, but yet again, I shouldn't, because I'm like thinking, when the moment Mercedes came in, I knew she would fit in like a glove. But the biggest problem I think is like, how is she going to be utilized? And that's the thing. Like, she fits in like a glove, but is how she's going to be utilized in terms of booking and everything else. And I feel like with her getting the TBS title is just, I felt like they just gave it to her.
Yeah, they did. And like, so I was a huge Jade Cargill fan, still am, but like, to see what Jay did with that title and the streak and all that, and just to go from that to, and I've never liked Sasha Banks, so this might be me one-sided or biased.
Hey, I can understand why. She could be prissy bitch. I can.
Yeah. I've heard stories, horror stories about how she treats her fans. Like, she didn't really fit in. They do the whole 4 horsewomen thing, but she really didn't fit in with the rest of them. Like, tons of freaking issues. And anytime she didn't like her booking, she'd go throw a fucking temper tantrum. So it's like,
yeah. And guess what? Guess what had to happen? Triple H had to fucking listen to his fucking little girl, and the rest is history going forward. The reason why I liked her is because she stuck out of the entire four horsemen. She felt like a main eventer on her own, and I'm like, I like that about a woman. Now, if you truly have an attitude, I don't want you to be goody two shoes. I want you to be a prissy bitch, for crying out loud. Give me some of that shit. I mean, I need that crap.
The one for me that I always like really gravitated towards, because I felt out of all the 4 horsewomen, the only one who had a real organic push was Becky.
Oh, I could agree with you on that one. Becky is that type of girl. That type of girl that really, truly, if you want a megastar female face of the women's division, she would be that person.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, where I liked her and also Mercedes a lot. And I'm thinking it's kind of hard picking one or the other for me because I love them both, and both of them are great. But I mean, like, I felt like the biggest problem with WWE, they never saw anything potential on Mercedes. She should have been the heel of the entire women's division and stayed on that. She should have been a bitch from day one. The problem is, we got to make her a baby face. We got to make her a goody two shoes. No, make her a fucking heel. Make her the most bitch best woman in the entire company and utilize that, because Triple H was that. And I think that's the reason why Triple H kind of looked at her as in a lot of ways, he took care of her bullshittery because he saw a portion of himself there where she wanted to prove something, and the people in WWE never gave her that. That's the only thing. Now, granted, will she do that in WWE? Well, that's on Tony Khan's shoe. Oh, man. He has to literally.
With her, I think WWE dropped the ball a lot. If you look at the beginning, they even dropped the ball because one of my favorite women's factions was Team Bad, but they made Naomi the leader, and Naomi ain't a leader. So I think that they should have had, if they would have had Sasha Banks as the leader of that group, her, Naomi, and Tamina, I think they could have done something. But
yeah, and this is the thing. Like, I mean, like, and speaking about WWE, because I'm thinking, I really like kind of put a lot of my head down, like thinking, what are you thinking, Triple H? And that is yours truly, Damage Control. What was the fuck was that? I didn't like Damage Control at all because I felt
so they kind of been given teases of like a newer version with just the Japanese wrestlers, which I would be down for that.
Oh, I would be too.
I don't think Dakota Kai fits in the group at all.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them gel well together, except for Dakota Kai. Asuka, Kairi, freaking Io are great, but you put Dakota Kai and she's just
a beast.
It doesn't fit in well with the others. And like Dakota Kai's okay, but like her complaining about not getting pushed, like there are many times Dakota Kai got pushed, but she didn't. She didn't make it.
She didn't give the push that she needed. Now, I personally believe, and this is something I think that comes to that group. I don't like Bayley as a heel. I gave it a year. I don't like Bayley as a heel because I feel like it doesn't fit her. She had a gimmick that was perfect, and it's very hard pill to swallow because I'm thinking, how can I boo her when really she works more of it as a babyface, and she should go by that. But the problem is you don't have Mercedes there. So I kind of feel like, it's one of those situations where the rest.
So okay. So I agree. Yes and no. Okay. So I liked Bayley when she first turned heel. When she was just being her with the volume turned way up. When they slapped the gimmick on her and did the fucking ding dong hello segments and the laugh and all that, it was so cringe.
Oh, I could agree with that. I agree.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. As I wasn't big into the hugger gimmick, but I know a lot of people who loved it. So
I mean, for me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, how can you really work with this when you have a woman that was, in a lot of ways, worked because the other person was a heel? Mercedes was a when she was in WWE and when she was heel, she fucking knocked it out of the park, and she was perfect. And her being part of the elite, I'll say she's in the elite. Like I'll say, and I'm grateful because I'm like I could pick the better female when if there was one. But I do love the whole comedy skit that Okada got a little, let's just say, lost his shit when Mercedes blow him over. You get what I mean? I think it's hilarious, but yet again, I mean, as for me, I've been waiting for the moment with Mercedes and Britt Baker, but it's like I was also waiting for Saraya, the TNA Impact wrestler, to go off on Mercedes because they wanted to work together and they wanted to have a match. But I'm also waiting for a lot of things. But what is your problems on AEW? Because I know Nate's problems. He has a personal grudge on Tony Khan. Go on.
Well, my issues is that so with their booking, it's stop-start, right? So you're starting to get something really good, something you can really sink your teeth into, a good storyline, good long-term story, and then they just cut it off.
Like, which one? Which one?
The biggest one was Adam Page, Dark Order.
Oh,
that was a big one. That went nowhere. Freaking, you were pushing and building up Saraya so freaking good. Had her in Wembley win the women's title, big moment. And then
the reason why they did that, they did is just injuries.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's due to injuries.
And then when they pushed Moxley, and then after he dropped the title of Omega, then they put him in a tag team, and then they have him in Blackpool Combat Club, which was pretty good when Regal was like the manager figurehead of that group.
Yeah,
but
he was there.
Like when he was there, it was great, but now not so much.
It's not really effective.
There's still some good stuff that I like. I'm actually very impressed with what they've been doing with Will Ospreay. Because
me too.
A lot of the time I saw him in the independent scene, he was always a heel. So I really wasn't used to seeing him as a face. But
so you think? Oh wait, you thought him as a face? I thought him as just like I didn't really see him as a heel. Oh, a heel in AEW. But okay.
When he cut the promo saying that about AEW's identity and that he's a lot of that, and that's why MJF don't like him. Ospreay reminds me of that year one AEW guy.
Oh yeah, I can agree with you on that one.
So I like what he was saying. I'm like, okay. Like I actually started getting into AEW again because freaking Ospreay's promos and an awesome wrestler always. I remember all the times on the indies with him and Ricochet.
Oh yeah, I could tell. I mean, like hearing from you, like definitely a major.
And then at the time they brought their girlfriends in, which were also accomplished wrestlers, Tessa and then Bea Priestley, and I'm a huge Bea Priestley fan, so like that shit was cool too. So like I knew a little bit about Ospreay, but like the reason why I started watching AEW is because I couldn't get New Japan at the time a lot, and I was a huge Kenny Omega fan. So like seeing those
I'm still waiting for Kenny to come back, but I don't know when he's coming back. And I was gonna do a video about this. Kenny might go to WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is the reasons why. He said if I go, it would be my own selfish reasons. And I'm thinking, well, let's look at it this way. You're in a company. You're in a company that's not utilizing you. And you might as well go because wrestling's no goody two shoe business. It shouldn't. And if he does go, it's going to be his own terms. And I'm very grateful on that because I'm hoping I'm counting on him kind of do that because I actually want him to go in to WWE because now I'm like thinking, well, if they don't do the Civil War Elite, then I just want him to get out of there. I mean, like I'm waiting very bad, clenching to my teeth. Where is the Civil War ideas? People talk about the bloodline. I mean, I'm talking about the Elite Civil War. I mean, this shit would be fucking gold if they put themselves in a really good direction. But, Tony Khan's not doing that right now. Now, granted, I mean, I also say go there when you're not being utilized enough or go there when you're face all of them. That's just how I feel. I would be happy if Kenny fought all these people after his contract's all done and pretty much saying, I got one last run on my career. I want to go to WWE and finish my career on that term. And
Yeah,
it'll be on that.
That's what AJ originally did.
What? Brian did?
That's what
Yeah, I
AJ
know.
originally did. I think originally he thought he was only going to have one more run in him. So he went to WWE and it's lasted as long as it has, which is great.
Yeah, great. No. And I think and I'll say this, thinking about where WWE can utilize him, I'm hoping that they utilize him correctly because I actually believe that Triple H would kill to see, or should I say, kill to have a Kenny Omega guy. I mean, that's like his wet dream. Like he loves the indie darlings, and I'm thinking if he had him, he would took care of him the worst way. He would make sure everything because I looked at all his guys, his indie darlings, as all the anti Triple H fuckers do, and they say, that he takes care of his indie darlings, and I'm like, yeah, because he actually believes in them and actually sees a future in them. I see no kind hearts on Triple H, on WWE fans that are very anti on him, very much against his ideas, philosophy. And I'm like, I'm not against his philosophy. I just want interesting storyline, interesting direction. I believe Triple H is gonna save himself on streaming because I think he's a streamer writer, and I think it works for him. But people are very dumb. They don't look at people's strengths and weaknesses. The only problem I think Triple H has that I disagreed is I think Bobby Lashley could be utilized a lot more, and he just didn't care for it. What about you? I mean,
with the Bobby thing, I think he was burnt too much by Vince, that it killed his motivation. So by the time that Triple H did really take over,
he didn't really see anything.
He just, I don't think he cared. That's the thing. Like, go and look at the Big Show's career. The Big Show is one of those guys that just didn't care enough. Like, they put the world title on him multiple times, but you got to have passion there, and Big Show just doesn't have the passion like a lot of other guys. So
I see. I got it.
So Bobby could have, but they tried several times with Bobby, different characters, different type of gimmicks than actually him just being him, and he always wanted to be in a group.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I mean, for me, I thought, well, if they're going to try to bring the Hurt Business back, why don't you try to make it a faction that's very much like your Judgment Day type of deal? Because I I don't like the fact that they're doing garbage shit on the Judgment Day. Because I'm thinking, we all know where it's going. It's Finn Balor going after the world champion. And I kind of find it very generic. I mean, it's like, oh, how convenient.
They have dumbed Balor down so freaking bad. I'm a huge Balor fan, and I love it.
Like, I think the reason why they've done that is because Vince never saw anything.
Yeah.
Triple H did. He saw something gangbusters. And this is why I feel like he's gonna break the Judgment Day up for this reason only, because he wants his indie darling to be a champion, and that is a good way, but also a horrible way at the same time. I would have had the current world champion lose over Punk or Drew McIntyre. Have him lose and have yours truly, Finn Balor, comes in. I mean, that would have been fine by me. But the problem is, by the way, Nate said, hold on a second. Anyway.
Okay.
But anyway, as I was saying, like, he is doing all this stuff that's just, it's very, you can tell in direction that I can agree with, but disagree. It's just how I kind of view it. Now, as for Tony Khan, he's trying to catch the idea of the Elite is an elite faction and they're taking over AEW. And I'm just like, okay, so you're taking the idea of what Eric Bischoff did.
So he's trying to recreate the NWO.
Pretty much, yeah. And that term, yeah. But but I'm like thinking, it's not like that. It really isn't. You don't have. We got Okada's the biggest wrestling guy in the world, but it's like it's not that level. Like when you saw that in WCW, it was whoa, shock value. The shock value would be there. That would be those things. The only way for that to make that level of shock value is Kenny Omega joins the Elite. That ain't gonna happen because you're already either A, write him over because of his illness problem, or B, you're just setting him up for a babyface and bringing in his boyfriend Ibushi to fight Okada and the Young Bucks. That's where Hangman.
You would need to take baby faces that you never thought would ever turn heel and turn them heel. So, like, for that type of angle to work, the Bucks couldn't be in it. You would have to take, like, Kenny, Darby, and, like, one or two others and start that whole freaking invasion angle. That would really be like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got one. This is something get Kabushi.
Yeah.
Kabushi, Darby Allin. Oh, man.
So you get them, Kenny, and then freaking you get Okada, who's like sworn lifelong enemies with Omega, and then they're on the same side and they're in a faction and they're just running a roughshod over everybody.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been fire.
Tony Khan logic.
Oh, finally, yeah.
All right, sorry, Nate.
It's all good. It's all good. I was hearing the conversation in the background. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the Bucks. My opinion. All right, my opinion is that the Bucks can't get over a freaking NWO type angle. That's
because
just my
they
opinion.
suck. They're the genetics of the group.
To me, okay, Nate. I hate, but like, I just don't. They tried. Remember year one, or no, it was year two. They tried like a Wolfpack angle, and it just didn't go. Everything with the Bucks feels forced, and they're not really known for putting people over. Like,
They're the type of guys that you're like, yeah, we're gonna kick your ass because.
Their names before they were the Young Bucks were Generation Me.
Oh yeah. TNA situation.
So
As for you, I just want to say this: you, Nate, you should be dancing over the moon. You're getting the freaking. Your company is getting the sunlight of the worst. I mean.
All right.
Listen.
Three of us. Since all three of us are here, before the stream ends, I want to do predictions for SummerSlam.
Oh my god!
Would that be cool?
Yeah.
Okay, but continue, Nate.
But what I was going to say is this: the only way I will be happy if Fox or USA give them a deal. If Fox or USA give them a deal, then I'll be the happiest because now we'll be going to a broader studio. We'll go to a broader.
Okay, so I'm glad I have you, Nate, because I got a bone to pick with you about this TNA thing. All right. So me and my son is a huge, and he likes him even more than Cody. My son loves Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yes, my son loves Joe Hendry, and we were looking for a good hour for where Impact was at, and we couldn't find no damn Access TV.
Oh, I got you though. Don't worry, I got you. I got you later.
I think that's a big reason why their viewership isn't bigger than what it is.
And that's
because if me, who's a diehard wrestling fan, just can't find a network on regular cable, then that's the thing about TNA. But like that's why I'm so happy with the working relationship with WWE. And it's not so much okay, they're getting used on this station or whatever. I saw AEW when I was a huge AEW fan. Mm-hmm. I saw how they treated the TNA people, and I just
like Step Brothers and not the movie.
It was worse than that. It's like, okay, we're going to get our AEW people over, but we're not putting any TNA people over.
I said this before, and I'll say it again. Tennille Dashwood versus Britt Baker, Sami Callihan versus Jon Moxley, Motor City Machine Guns versus the Young Bucks. Josh Alexander versus I can't remember his name. I mean, you had multiple people, but yet you just pissed on it because you're trying to appease Kenny Omega and them.
But if you honestly look at it, both promotions have their creative issues.
Agree.
So the whole Judgment Day storyline is fucking stupid, to be honest with you.
It is.
Because the way you're not building Rhea up to be this face, you're making her you're making her look like a fucking bitch.
Yep.
And she's supposed to be the face. Liv's supposed to be the heel. But I'm more sympathetic towards Liv Morgan, and Rhea is complaining, "Oh, you took me out for 3 months, bitch! You took her out for a year."
I was just, that should have been a promo.
And did you see the promo on Monday that Rhea cut?
Yes.
She's like, "Oh, why did I take you out for a year? Oh, you were in my way for getting the title, dude."
That makes no sense.
That's not something that you take out your former tag partner and your former best friend for a year because she wanted to go for the world title the same time you did. It's dumb. And then the worst thing, and I didn't realize this till I listened to Bubba on Busted Open. I was so into Drew versus Punk. It's fun, everything. But then here comes Seth Rollins. And then, of course, Seth Rollins got to make it about him. And it's like...
And that's the problem.
And that's why that crowd fell flat. It's not their fault. But...
It's because Seth Rollins as a character...
Yeah.
Is boring.
And let's not pull punches with this. Seth Rollins was a Vince McMahon guy.
Yep.
Can I say
Actually,
something?
he was a Triple H. He was a Triple H
No,
guy.
he was
Hey,
a Vince McMahon more than he was a Triple H guy. He
didn't he want?
defended Vince McMahon and WWE in that time when Vince was running it and everything like that.
You're right.
A freaking, if you're gonna, out of the 3 Shield members, who was the most Triple H guy? It was probably Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. Yeah.
Yeah. It freaking, yeah. I've never liked Seth. From what he did injuring Sting to how he freaking injured Balor.
Stay.
You see he's not using the buckle bomb anymore.
Of course. You know why? You know why? Because he's busy thinking about 2 grown men and they're going through a god phase.
You and your damn Clay.
Listen, these are my boys. I stand by them. That's another reason why I don't like TNA, because when you got
AEW?
listen, you had on a roll. You had it. You had it right here, man. You had the Acclaim versus. You had the Acclaim and FTR. You could have solidified the Acclaim as true homegrown baby faces, but you let them lose to the Guns. To the Guns.
You're really not over this shit.
No, I will not let that go. I will never let go of.
All right, let's let Edgar get a chance to talk.
Huh?
Let's let Elite get a chance to talk a little bit, dude.
Okay, let me say this. You don't like Seth?
No.
That says a lot. That says a lot. Yeah. I mean, well, granted, I can understand you're a big Sting fan. He kind of he definitely hurt your guy. I could understand that. I wouldn't feel the same way if someone.
Well, and then he hurt Balor. Like,
yeah, he did it twice.
And Balor was freaking red hot at that time. First ever Universal Champion. One of my guys finally got the title, and he did it as the Demon too, which I love. Yeah, the Demon's my favorite.
You know why? I think the reason why he did what he did, Vince. I think he was told. Vince told him he hurt him.
That doesn't make sense though. Like,
I believe that Vince McMahon has a personal, when he looks like, if you're not his creation, he will look at you at 2 ends. He will look at you as enemy and a meat for his own toys to feed.
Yeah.
Or I want to push this guy because I actually think this guy is potential. Now, Triple H, he will look at you as like very open mind and say, "Hey, come down. You'll be welcomed, and I'll treat you good. And my wrestlers will treat you good as well." He's more of the Triple H is more of the soft guy compared towards Vince. Vince, like he'll use you as a punching bag, or he'll try to make you work for his company. If not, he'll throw you into the fire.
Look at what happened with DDP. Look at what happened with Shelton Benjamin. Bray Wyatt. Look at what happened with Lance Storm.
I blame Vince McMahon to the fucking end. Bray Wyatt could have been the next Undertaker, and they fucking fell off. And it's like,
and you know what match killed it? Hell in a Cell. Nope. Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, that too. I was gonna bring that up, or Goldberg. I'm like,
Hell in a Cell was
Goldberg really didn't kill it as much as you think. It was that match at Mania against John Cena. That's what killed it.
I did like the Firefight Full in the House, so that was a good one.
I mean, Bray Wyatt, I'm like, what? Yeah, the Fire Fun House, everything. All of it just reminded me of the cult figure of what the Undertaker was doing. I'm like, dude, this is the shit. I need this.
Yeah, it's like it gives me what's his face vibe. Ministry of Darkness.
Ministry of Darkness. Oh, that shit was the golden crap. I mean, I love that stuff.
Oh,
Man.
wait till you see my WCW season. I'm doing a women's Ministry of Darkness.
Yes, I already know who you're picking.
Yeah, I got my group. I didn't want to go with the one name that they were using online, so I freaking redid it, and it's like a mix between the Wyatt family and the original Ministry.
I have a question. Will my favorite girl be in there?
Who, Jordan?
No. Well, yeah, that too, but Gen Z.
Yes. Gen Z will be rivals with this group. I can tell you that.
Nate.
Yeah?
You're right.
About what are you talking about?
Britt Baker and Mercedes.
I told you. Why don't everybody listen to me? No one listens to me.
I was like, okay, I believe you because I know Mercedes. I love that girl, but I'm like, she is.
Listen, I told you it would. I told you this is not going to end well because of this standpoint. You got a WWE guy who has a history of being volatile with wrestlers.
Yep.
And you're telling me that with Britt Baker, who she thinks is the homegrown talent, and you coming in here because you got wrestling, you got big from another wrestling company, you're not gonna be courteous with everybody else?
I'll just say this. I'm glad she's the elite. She's an elite member.
All right, I gotta ask you guys. All right, we gotta talk about the Shane McMahon situation.
I was leading up to that.
Yeah. All right. So personally, I think it's overrated as crap. I think he's getting a job somewhere because he couldn't get a job back with WWE. Because if you remember Royal Rumble a couple years ago, he tried to put himself over Brock Lesnar, and everybody's like, "Oh, fuck no!" And so they made Vince fire his own son.
I think,
funny if you think about it.
This is what I think. Mercedes set up this shit up, so we can all blame. If this was a failure, we got someone to blame.
I tried. First it was CM Punk, now it's Mercedes.
I'm not gonna blame her because I'm like I can't blame my girl. She's my baby.
Oh, bull crap! I can blame Jordan Grace with the Digital Media Championship, but I still support her.
Hey, we don't talk about that, Nate.
Exactly, but still, it happened. It happened, Josh. Even though we don't talk about it, it happened.
It just happened. Elite broke the news before anybody else, but now they're all talking about it. AEW suspends Britt Baker for backstage altercation with MJF.
Wait, what?
How did MJF get involved in that?
No. Oh God! Now
it's happening. Josh, it's happening.
It's happening. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you. Now I gotta get this season off and get Britt Baker on my game. So
Josh is happening.
See it because then Britt Baker will be in the Royal Rumble next year.
MJF to WWE confirmed. Let's go.
No, Britt Baker to WWE confirmed. You're gonna see her at the Royal Rumble, and then she's gonna have a one-on-one with Charlotte at Mania. Watch.
Oh,
I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now. The Charlotte versus the anti-Charlotte. Yeah.
Hey, Elite. I'm just letting Elite know. I tried to tell you, Elite. I did. I tried to tell you.
No. Let's just put it this way. I was actually ready for this. I'm thinking, I want to know where does this go? Because I'm actually like, I'm waiting for. I wanted this so bad in the worst way. Because I actually wanted to see Mercedes versus Britt Baker, but now it's like, I mean,
I tried to tell you, Elite. Outside of that match, give me a match.
Saraya.
Time out. I'm not talking about that. Give me a match that's gonna give me, I'm invested in. I'll wait.
I hear everybody bragging about the Mariah May heel turn. I'm like, that was stupid as shit, right?
It was stupid.
Mine would have been fucking Carchita, but that would be one. Saraya would be another, because I actually think she's the clone version of Britt Baker, if you ask me. Sorry, I have to knock on your TNA girl, Nate. But
You just cruel.
What else? Julia Hart, because I actually believe she.
So you're telling okay. So you got an injury-prone wrestler in Saraya. You got an unproven person. You got a proven star but underutilized in Hikaru Shida. You got Julia Hart, who's also unproven and didn't deserve the TNT Championship.
Come on, that is freaking ridiculous. Okay,
yes.
All right. Normally, I would agree with you, Nate, but freaking Julia Hart's doing good shit. All right,
sir.
No,
She did not need that. She did not need
the
that.
The Varsity Blondes were absolute dog shit.
I agree with you.
What they've done with Julia Hart in House of Black has been absolutely amazing.
I understand that, but I'm telling you this from this standpoint. Did she needed the TBS title? No, she was not ready, and the title
is better than what they're doing with the TBS title now.
Huh?
It's better than what they're doing with it now.
That's true, but it's still
okay. Hold it. I need to literally interject. Because I agree with Josh on this one.
Oh, here we go. Gang up on Nate today.
I mean, I'm literally going to tag team on this one. I believe the TBS title is a title that honestly is pushing newer stars that is not going to be in the women's gold title.
Gold! I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, here's another thing. Okay, and this might be a hot take, but it's how I feel. What Julia Hart has done with House of Black is what they wish Alexa Bliss would have done with the freaking Wyatt family.
Oh, God, hell yeah. Fuck yeah, throw that.
But who's to blame on that one? If Triple H had the Wyatt family with Alexa Bliss, do you think that would have been like that? Or it would have been Final Testament?
Hold up. You going to talk about Final Testament now? Don't be knocking on my Scarlet.
Man, that's basically what House of Black is, the Final Testament.
So what freaking one wrestler I would really love to meet would be Karrion Kross. That dude is so freaking cool. Like,
and he's a superhero guy, so that's also a good thing.
I saw an episode of the Celtic Workouts, which is actually really good. That's Sheamus's YouTube channel. So if you guys watching, get a chance, check it out. There's a lot. They had the episode, they had Kross and Scarlett with Sheamus. And Kross is explaining why he does the workouts he does and how you don't want to do certain things to get injured. And I thought it's very educational. My kid watched it, he loved it.
Does he work out though?
Yes, he does.
Okay, never mind then.
But and he explains. He just, when it comes to working out stuff, he explains why he does the things he does, and he's got a lot of personality, and also they were talking about how they met when they were on the indies and stuff. I didn't know that Scarlett used to be a ring announcer for ROH. That was cool.
Yeah, she was. She was a ring announcer. She was behind.
Because there's a YouTuber that did a cameo on TNA named Brandon Collins, aka BDE, and BDE is trying to say that he wants a match with Roman Reigns. Because when Roman Reigns talked crap about the YouTubers, and I said to my kid, I was like, dude, that's a joke. Have you seen Brandon? He looks like Cheeseburger. And my kids are like, what's Cheeseburger? I'm like, oh, you don't know. I got to educate you now. So I showed him a match from ROH where it was Cheeseburger versus Roderick Strong. And the fact that Cheeseburger still has a back, I will never understand for the life.
I swear to you, that end of Heartbreak was vicious. I was like, I felt it from here.
I'll just say this, and I want to say something. For me, I think CM Punk is going to get that title.
No.
He's going to get that title.
What,
He's going to be
World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, heavyweight championship.
No,
he's gonna
not yet. Not yet.
He's gonna get that title.
Not yet. I'm telling you.
No, okay. So I agree with that. He eventually is gonna get that title, but I don't think it's gonna be at this year's WrestleMania. I think Punk versus Seth is gonna be the WrestleMania match this year. I'm not saying it's never gonna happen. I think it might happen a year later, and that way you can build in the storyline, the setback. But I think Gunther's going to win, and you're going to have a long title reign with Gunther as World Heavyweight Champion, like you did with his Intercontinental run. Because that's what Gunther does. Anytime he has a title, it's not like he's going to have it for a couple months. When he has a title, he has it for a long time. Look at any championship he's ever had.
The UK Championship, the NXT Championship, the Intercontinental. I mean, it was a full. He broke what's his face record, the Honky Tonk Man. No, that's.
It's like
I think the reason why they were. I think the reason why they did that is because they were going competition on Roman, because everyone compared Gunther to Roman, to where he's literally untouchable. He's got a faction. He's got this. He's got that, and it's like I'm literally thinking, like, dude.
But even without it, he was a freaking monster.
Oh yeah, that too.
I mean, the chops that this dude does it hurts. It hurts me.
Well, there are a lot of, if you look at it, and I'm talking about OG Bloodline, there are a lot of parallels between the original Bloodline. I'm saying pre-Solo Sikoa when they just had, and the original Imperium. So with Alexander Wolf in the group. So if you compare the original Bloodline 4 to the original Imperium 4, there were a lot of similarities there.
Oh yeah. I agree with you on that. That's something I definitely 100% agree on. But I mean, like, for me, I'm looking at Gunther. I'm like, I think he should be the boss fighting Cody. I don't really think he should be going after the world champion. I think he should be going after what Cody is doing, because I actually think Cody needs a villain. And I don't know
what better
when
villain than him.
That's it.
I definitely agree with that. That would be an amazing match, but I think it's too soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Especially when you got Randy Orton in the wings.
That's it.
But if let's say Gunther wins Saturday. Let's say Gunther wins the title. Think about what we're going to get at Survivor Series. Not only are we going to get Bloodline versus Bloodline and War Games, we're going to get champion versus champion, Cody versus Gunther.
Oh, dude, you just topped my idea. Fuck. Oh. Yeah, dude, you know, I'm actually on board with that one. I'm like, that's something I would watch. Oh, by the way, I got the WWE.
Remember, Cody, and also.
Go on. No, you were saying. Go on. You were saying.
And also.
Nate, you're cutting out a little bit, bud.
Hello?
Yeah.
I was saying that that Gunther never forgets, because remember, it was Cody that cost him the Royal Rumble, and you don't think he don't forget that?
Oh yeah.
It's that too, because if you watch the commentary, because he did the commentary back on the 2023 Royal Rumble. It's like, of course, Cody won it. He came in at 30. I started it. So, like, he has that bitterness against Cody because he feels like Cody didn't really earn it.
Yep.
because he feels that you only earn a Royal Rumble win if you start at like the beginning, which is understandable. That's another Royal Rumble debate. At the same time, if you got lucky number 30,
I mean, what can you do?
yeah, it's not like he chose his number. It's drawn at random, but you can
Which is
look at it either
bullcrap. We
way.
all know it's not drawn at random.
Yeah. No, the problem, a big problem with like Cody's booking is that, okay, the day after WrestleMania, Rock comes out and wants to put himself over and says, "Oh, I'm coming back for
Again.
you and your title." So you're really at a point where you can't go into so many storylines because you're waiting on that Rock versus Cody thing. So
Fuck Dwayne Johnson.
I know, but like,
That's my response to that.
yeah, it still gets to the point where you're just like, well, you really can't do much with him.
That's true. But like I said, even for a champion, you gotta understand is that I really can't wait to see a Cody versus Randy, because that match,
Oh yeah,
I
that's going to be.
swear, is gonna be so much fun. Because I know if I know Randy, we know Randy Orton. Randy Orton is a vengeful guy, and you could tell that he could say like he came back, but he hasn't beaten me.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, this is your prove it match. Yeah, you prove everybody, but you have to prove to me that you can beat me because you weren't ready then. Even better, he's like, you weren't ready then, Cody, and you still ain't ready now. Right there. And plus, that'll give him a psychological warfare because now you know how Randy is. He likes to mess with your head.
All I know is I'm excited for this weekend because I miss Roman and I'll be happy to see him come back.
Everybody does because it's boring.
Now, what I'm wondering is, are you going to tease and do a storyline of the Usos get back together, or are you just going to have them all show up?
I think they're gonna tease it. I feel like they're gonna do that because you know how Jay is. Jay is like, you were my brother. I trusted you, and you betrayed me more times than I could count. So how do I know you're not gonna betray me now?
And if you know anything about the Bloodline storyline, they always give reasonings behind what they do.
And that's why I like it.
That's why the Bloodline storylines, like, if you look at anything that Roman does, it's like history making, freaking top storylines. Whether it's Bloodline, Shield, like, he always gets he's really good at getting people to invest in his stuff.
Oh, finally, I'm here now. Sorry about that, guys. I had to move my. I was talking to you guys on my tablet, so yeah.
Anyway, it's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, as I was saying, well, I agree with what you're saying on a lot of the stuff, but does this really mean that we could actually see Adam Cole fighting or even leaving WWE? Not WWE, AEW, eventually.
But also, they're separated too.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Because I remember what he stated in years ago. Adam Cole said, if MJF ever touches my girl, he's going to have to deal with me. And I'm thinking, could this be the fuel fire that Adam Cole could literally stop what he's doing and literally go wrestle against?
Well, at the same time, two guys in AEW, they were one of the few that never talked bad about WWE when they left. And that's Cole and Danielson. So they always have that open door to come back.
Oh, yeah. But I don't think Danielson needs to go back because I'm like, he's got nothing to prove there. I mean, I feel like there's nothing there for him. I mean, if he wants to, yeah, he can go ahead and go. I mean, that's up to him. That would be his decision.
I think one more WrestleMania main event.
That could
Especially
be
like injuries hindered him from the title.
True.
So now that he's been wrestling for a little while and he's good.
But yet again, I don't. Here's the one thing I'm like.
Yeah.
I'm going to be questioned on that. He's doing moves that pushes him into concussions. God damn it. So it's like that WWE would tell him you can't use those moves. You got away with that shit on AEW and the independents because that's why.
Yeah.
I think that would be
hold on 1 second. Let me let me read these comments real quick. Hey Max. Max says, "Hey Josh, got my notification.
Oh,
you like the Acolyte? Loved it. I haven't seen it yet, but I do have. I got
this guy.
Hang on, guys. But I got Disney Plus, and I plan on watching it this weekend. So I'll definitely let you know. I've heard mixed reviews on it, so I'm actually looking forward to it. So.
Well, here's my thoughts on it. Good show.
Of course, you would say that.
I was the only fuck that was looking forward to it. I would literally defend it and literally say,
I haven't watched wrestling since WrestleMania. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, a lot of people, especially people who like casually watch it every now and then. I think The Rock did bring a lot of like people who normally don't watch wrestling just because of the movies and his acting career and stuff. So, but that's cool. Like, WrestleMania was so much fun. I love seeing the cameos. To me, that main event with Cody and Roman felt like the spirit of WrestleMania helped out Cody.
When he lost on part 1, I'm literally like, oh man, I can't watch part 2.
Yeah, and I told you the plan it's already set up.
I like looking back at it when he lost the first year. I didn't think he was ready. This guy comes in at 30, wins the Rumble, and then he's just going to main event. I'm like, he needs to be ready. You need to build him up. They didn't.
No.
With building him up.
Here's what I was saying. When he lost in night 1, in his second time, and I'm thinking, and The Rock was like, he felt like he could still wrestle like next 10 years. I mean, and the way he was carrying that title, that whole belt that he had,
the People's Champion,
which was originally designed to be the undisputed champion, the new look of the undisputed champion, but and the whole outline where Cody was going to win the Seth's title, the heavyweight champion, and then they were going to unify them all to one champion. And I'm like, that sounds like a Vince McMahon train wreck that just kills everything.
Yeah, and I'm glad it didn't happen like that. So,
but as for everything else, like I think that when he lost,
Cena's retirement match is going to be at Mania. We're all speculating on
Joe Hendry. I'm saying this right now. Yeah. Joe Hendry. It's gonna happen.
So
Cena versus Hendry.
It'll be interesting to see who Cena. Okay, it'll be interesting to see who Cena picks for his final opponent. But yeah, that's going to be a big moment this coming year. So that's going to be cool.
Hendry.
Yeah, but like whoever it is, I'm excited for. I do wish it would be a younger person that they, want to build up. That he
Joe Hendry.
And Joe Hendry's one. A lot of people have been talking maybe Cody, passing the torch. Like that's a interesting one too. I can't say yes or no either way about it, but that
Joe Hendry's the guy. I'll tell you. When that happens, I'm telling you, that WrestleMania entrance is gonna be loud when you hear that song.
They're doing the NXT thing right now, so I don't think Joe Hendry's going to main event at this year's WrestleMania. I do think for WrestleMania weekend, seeing him win the NXT title would be cool. Like that'd be
True.
I think with Joe Hendry you need to do a slow burn. So
here's my thoughts.
the rumor is Cena might be the next Terminator. Yes, I saw that. I saw some fan clips, and it's very possible. It's not a bad idea.
Okay.
Like,
He has
if
to
you look at Cena, especially what Cena did with like the Fast and Furious movies when he came in for a couple of those, and with Peacemaker and everything. I could definitely see him being a Terminator and being a good Terminator because, you know, if you try to get The Rock to do the Terminator, I don't think it's going to work out so well.
Here's my thoughts. I would never choose him for the Terminator. I would choose him for Kyle Reese.
Oh, yeah. Especially with the haircut and everything. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. He's got that fucking look.
So how excited are you guys? Because I'm really excited about this coming out. The Crow remake with Bill Skarsgård. I'm really excited for that.
No, I'm not really looking forward to it. I did a video on it months ago. I didn't like the teaser. I felt like that movie. Look, The Crow. They've been trying to work on this film for decades, and it just doesn't seem to work. My problem is where it's tainted by someone's death. And you have a movie that talks about someone dying and coming back. It's extremely difficult because when you've seen this franchise try to do the same plot and not really try to be different going forward, it really kind of kills the moment of like expecting something better. And I think that Crow was so tainted of bad sequels and bad interpretations of it now that it's kind of staying on the actor who played the character.
Brandon Lee.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm a huge Crow fan, but yeah. And some of the trailers they kind of feel like, well, part of the trailer felt like more like Wicked Prayer than like the original. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
Max says, Crow's growing on me. The post artwork is really good. Yeah, definitely.
It was.
But it's like, for me, I know Bill Skarsgård. I am such a fan of his work. It's been a long time since he's played a good guy in a movie. That even excites me more than anything else. Because he hasn't really been a good guy since Hemlock Grove.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
So, and he's an amazing bad guy, but like, to me, and I use this in wrestling and with acting, the best actors or performers are ones that you can absolutely love as the good guy and absolutely despise as the bad guy.
Like Stone Cold.
Like Randy Orton. Orton's 09 work, I used to think that Triple H was the best heel of all time. And then what Randy did is the original Viper when he handcuffed Triple H to the ring and then laid out his wife and then started kissing on her and made him watch. I'm like, dude, that was some vicious stuff. Like, so, but yeah, so that's a big reason why I'm excited for The Crow. There's a lot of stuff coming out, good, bad, like.
I mean,
I heard Deadpool and Wolverine was really good, but they said that movie they dropped more F-bombs than any movie in history.
I know.
Like so they South Park so they overdid South Park then?
They overdid Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Pulp Fiction too, yes.
Yeah. So,
I mean, hell, it worked too because I'm like, yeah, a lot of the scenes definitely fit. For me, I love that movie a lot. I thought that movie was everything I could have asked for, and the table's already set. That I'm like, okay, can we go forward on the idea where these characters, these multiverse characters, are in the MCU already.
Secret Wars, baby. Secret Wars.
And I'm definitely looking forward to that whole thing. And it's just that I'm looking forward to seeing how they do Doctor Doom, because that's going to be my moment on that whole thing, because I'm like,
Oh
Marvel,
yeah, since we got Max and everybody here, how do you guys feel about Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom?
I love it, because I actually think it works.
I was kind of upset because I was upset because I wanted my guy. You already know who I was picking for.
Oh, you wanted Roman. Or no.
For me, it's kind of meh, because the original Doctor Doom, Julian McMahon, I thought was great.
Yeah, I liked him. I'm not gonna lie, I like him too.
Yeah.
But for me, I love the idea, because Marvel needs money, and Marvel just like say, screw it. We practically end this universe, this whole saga. Correct myself. This whole saga of the multiverse with Loki season 2.
We already know who I was.
And now it's like, well, we're kind of low on money, and people are not really liking these newer characters. So screw it. Why don't we just use Robert Downey Jr., because technically he was the original guy going to play Doctor Doom in 2005, Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four. So it's like, okay, screw it. Let's get him. He makes money. He hasn't done anything. And besides that, I mean, like after Avengers Endgame, his movie bombed hard. So I'm thinking, yeah, that makes sense. So honestly, for him going in to literally play Doctor Doom is a good business move. As for Kang, kind of have the actor blame himself on that, because
Listen. The stage has been set, my friends. James Gunn, make it happen, buddy. Give my boy the hero he deserves.
I was leading into that. I was like, the table's already set. Like, yeah, he should play Icon. He looks like him. I mean, so much is there.
Icon would be the perfect superhero. And plus, it would be a giant FU to Disney.
You know what's a giant FU to Disney
now?
name?
It would be a redemption.
What?
How about October? I'm finally getting my Venom 3.
No. Why you gotta bring that back now?
Because it's gonna be greatness.
No, it will not. It sucks. Oh, you know what? I'll walk away from now and we'll talk. I'll nip that in the bud later.
Okay. All right. Let's get into prediction. All right. I'm gonna start with the tag title match. We got DIY defending against New Bloodline. Who you guys see winning? I'm going with New Bloodline.
DIY.
I don't have an opinion on that one. Don't know.
I got DIY. I'm sorry. They're not ready yet.
All right.
I know Jay will screw. I know Jimmy will screw them.
I'm expecting Roman to show up regardless of what. I mean, like, that's
Wait, what was the next match? I didn't hear. What?
Okay, so Nate has DIY winning. I got New Bloodline. I don't think they're gonna mess that one up. I think they're gonna mess up the main event.
Jimmy's gonna mess it. I'm telling you that right now.
All right, then we got the women's world title match with Liv versus Rhea.
Liv, she's gonna
Liv.
By a Dominic Mysterio heel turn.
Yep. Even though he's a heel.
No, I meant the ultimate betrayal. That's what
yeah. Next, I'm trying to remember all these. Okay, so we got Bayley defending her title against Nia Jax.
Bionic Barbie cash in, she wins the title.
But who's she going to cash in on?
Bailey. Because she's gonna get injured by Nia Jax, and that's when Tiffany Stratton comes in, and the Bionic Barbie will become champion.
I think Bailey's going to defend it, and then Tiffany's going to cash in. So
Either or. Tiffy time. God, sound like a spot of tea.
Josh, I wanted to ask you something.
What's that?
I really want to know. What's your opinion on Swerve Strickland on champion AEW?
it's okay. I think he's transitional, to be honest. He should, a lot of us feel that
Nate said to me months ago before this match came that Will Ospreay is going to be champion, and I'm thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind it, but when it happened, it's like I believe it was going to happen, but he hesitated. Do you think he'll ever be champion in AEW?
Who, Will?
Yeah, Will, yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't tell with Strickland one day to the next. One day he's a heel, one day he's a face.
Exactly, and that's the freaking problem. All right, next match.
Didn't Darby just win a freaking battle royal to become the next #1 contender
For the TNT Championship.
Oh, for the TNT. Okay. So you got him and Danielson. You got Swerve and Danielson at All In. This is gonna be crazy booking, but here's where I'm gonna go. I think Danielson's gonna win the title because I think there's more money to be made in a Danielson MJF feud, and MJF's gonna get that belt back, and then Ospreay's gonna win it from MJF.
I would love to believe that, but no, I don't believe that.
Yeah, so, but
because I'm gonna say this, I think they're gonna do the Shawn Michaels and Flair situation, where Shawn was the one that retired Ric Flair. That's going to be the moment. That's where it's all going to pop. But yet again, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. That what you said. I mean,
yeah.
I'm trying to be very open-minded, but it's really hard when you're hearing Bryan Danielson's having multiple injuries and all this stuff, and he's just like, oh man, literally everything is a stack against him. So I'm just like, oh, I kind of know the ending already, so it's like, yeah, we'll see.
Well, Danielson's worked injured before. He's worked months injured, so like, you could go either way with it.
That's true. Yeah.
I just don't think that Swerve. If you look at top guys in AEW, I just don't think Swerve's a top guy.
Thank you.
He reminds me of Chris Jericho when Chris Jericho had the world title in WWE.
And then yes.
Oh, really? He's good. He's a good promo. He ain't top guy level. And you could have done things to make him look better, but he ain't top guy.
He's not top billing.
Ospreay, even Samoa Joe, like these different guys in AEW. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's top guy, yeah. But I'm just not seeing it with Swerve.
All right, I get you. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm like, I actually am. I'm in the. I really, really, really like him a lot. So it's like, for me, I think he is the top guy. But it's just like, I respect your opinion. I mean, I think he's event so much that he's made the pre-pay-per-views to be main eventers, and I'm thinking this guy deserves the champion level. So maybe that's just me, but that's how I see it.
it's like you can tell when someone's a top star in a company because you listen to the first 5 music of their music hitting in their entrance. If it's like edge levels of getting a pop, that's how you know someone's a star.
That's true, yeah.
And Swerve doesn't get that. Of course, at the same time, if you would have booked him better, you could have made him that top level with the right build. But they really just kind of like put it on him out of nowhere.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So like, and then the week right after he wins it, then they have as part of the opening match wrestling somebody that casual audiences don't know who the hell this guy is that he's fighting. That doesn't help either. Anytime someone wins a title, they have a big freaking ceremony, celebration for him, and all that. They didn't have that for Swerve.
Nothing.
They made it feel like, oh, this guy just won a belt. And that's the problem amongst a lot of, whether it's called dirt sheets or wrestling fans or whatever it is, a lot of problem that people have with Swerve's booking is that he just wasn't pushed like somebody would normally be pushed, and that AEW has too many belts.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. I mean, I'm not saying that's not true. That is fucking true.
I think one month the AEW champion Swerve is either defending his title on the opening segment of the show, and the main event was Jon Moxley defending the Japan title.
Yeah.
So it makes the IWGP title look more important than your promotion's top title. So then it's like, what the heck? And I can understand from a wrestling perspective.
I think that was New Japan's saying, "Can you help us on many factors?" Because they're not doing so hot. I found out some shit about that, but
yeah,
you know. Granted, I'm grateful that what's his face got the title, and I think that was the one long-term plan of where they were going for it. It's just that to get that is like very much a planned idea, but it's like, yeah, I definitely hurt their title. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So like when Swerve won the title, I was so happy that he won the title. You know, I liked Hit Row and all the stuff that he did. And then when he came in and he had that opening rivalry with freaking Darby, I thought that was really good. I was really invested in that.
The one big part I feel like that was such a missed opportunity was Wardlow should have won the World Heavyweight Championship, and you could have had Swerve's faction versus Undisputed. Oh,
Mogul Embassy versus Undisputed.
That would have been fireworks going off, and they fucking not do it. Oh,
or it's like you want to talk about missed opportunities with AEW. We still haven't got Elite versus UE. Like, you know, when Cole came in and all that. And that's what, yeah. And then they were teasing that at first. Oh, who's Adam Cole going to pick for his boys? Is he going to go with Fish and O'Reilly, or is he going to go with Bucks? Like, they teased it, and they were waiting on Kenny to come back. And then Kenny finally comes back. And then they just don't do it. And that was the saddest thing of all. It's the only time I really wanted to see the Bucks in a feud was I wanted the original 3 of Undisputed Era versus the original 3 Elite of Kenny and the Bucks versus Adam Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly. Like I think that would have been really cool. And do like a blood and guts type match with it. That would have been fire, but It never happened. But like you still have a lot. It's all when it comes to the booking thing, and it's TK needs someone to collab with. Some of the best storylines that we had in AEW is TK and Cody collabing, or TK and freaking Kenny collabing. When TK's just booking it himself, a lot of bad things happen. I'll say that. But like, and there's so many creative people in AEW. You know, I think TK having like a Scott D'Amore type who's very creative would make it better.
Oh, okay. I wanted to ask you, Josh. How would you correct TK's book? I mean, like, who would you push? I mean, just mind asking.
You got to get back to the pillars. That's what you got to look at what they did at year one. People that we didn't know that well, they started pushing. They wanted us to get familiar. They gave us his backstory. Like, look at the Hikaru Shida vignettes, which were my favorite freaking thing they've ever done with her. They made her look like a legit badass. They made her look like Asuka NXT. Like, and
I loved her, and I still love her to this day. But it's just like she went a little heel turn to a degree. But it's just like I think she is just a worker that gets rewarded of your hard work type of deal.
Yeah.
Which is fine in my book. Because I do believe Bastard Pac should get a World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I actually think like he's been helping AEW for years. I really feel like that's happened. I think Roosh should get the TNT title. I'm like, that person deserved the TNT title. I would have had Andrade, but Andrade's not there, so I'm like, fuck it, give it to Roosh. Those guys, in many levels, deserve it. Or many factors. Yeah. So typical. Oh shit, MJF is in that Mexico fucking partnership that AEW is having. Hold on, give me one minute. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello.
But it's like okay, so Elite asked me how would I fix TK's booking. I mean, like, go back to year one, start building up people that people aren't familiar about, and giving them actual matches and letting their storyline develop.
And also,
you want to talk about building storylines in the ring and matches. Darby didn't talk. We didn't know who Darby was. How did we get to know Darby? We saw his heart through the series of matches he had with Cody. Mm-hmm. And how when Darby came out, you're like, Cody's going to squash this guy, but he couldn't because he tried to squash the guy, and you just couldn't keep Darby down. And through his emotion and his heart, and yeah, he lost the match, but freaking Darby Allin wrestled his ass off, and Cody really had to earn it. Mm-hmm. As in some people, like a QT Marshall, where Cody would just squash freaking Darby Allin, that's when Cody started the multiple crossroads to put somebody away. Because one just wasn't going to do with this guy because he wasn't going to quit. And you literally had to knock him out in order to pin him. So doing stuff like that is how the vignettes with Hikaru Shida that they did in year one, that was really good. Educating us. You can't just say, oh, this is the promotion only for the smart marks. No, if you want viewers and you want things to go up, you need to educate people. And people are, if you have a compelling story, they will sit there and they will have no problem being educated. But you have to give us a background. You can't just automatically assume everybody knows who this person is. And it's that condescending attitude is why viewers have dropped in AEW. Last time I heard last week, Collision's barely getting 200,000 viewers, which is a shame because that's the old WCW Saturday slot. But that's how you fix it. You introduce different characters and you give us compelling storylines that people can relate to. You know, me and my son last night were watching WCW, and what made WCW cool? Wasn't just the NWO. What made WCW cool is no matter who it was, you had a character for somebody. You might not like one character, somebody might like somebody else. I'm going to give an example. Cruiserweights. Juventud Guerrero was my favorite. What my kid's favorite? His favorite, Rey Mysterio. Other person's favorite was Disco Inferno. And people hate on Disco, but that dude was over in '97. Like, go back and watch the crowd chants and pops and everything. The dude could wrestle, and he was over. Even with the crappy gimmick that he had, that dude was still over. So, like, that's what made WCW cool. Whether it was Goldberg, whether it was DDP, whether it was Sting, whether it was NWO, whatever it was.
Speaking about WCW, I wanted to ask your thoughts on this. I think it was a failure from the start, but how did you felt from the documentary series of WCW?
I thought it was great. At the same time, like, before I saw the documentary, I was this huge Bischoff fan. And after seeing it, I'm like, yo, that was some dumb creative. If you thought that Bash of the Beach 2000, keeping Hogan with the belt on him instead of pushing like a Booker T or somebody was a good idea, that's kind of dumb.
It made me, it kind of think me like, well, you criticized Tony Khan. I mean, bitch, you literally almost did the same thing, but worse. You put your company down the toilet. So, I mean, like, it kind of made him uncredible to a certain degree.
And if you look at it, the worst creative decision that AEW has ever done, and you can name it, still is nothing compared to that stupid idea of Bash of the Beach 2000 having Hogan walk out with the title, because you're thinking Hogan's still relevant when he wasn't. It was Booker T's time, and everybody knew it. That's why nobody disagreed with the when they said, "Oh, we're gonna put the title on Booker." Nobody, because he worked his way up. Booker T is a blueprint on how you build a star. If you start at his early beginnings of the tag team to his singles run, and he was the best mid-card worker WCW ever had, in my opinion, and then you building him up to a top champion, that's like Booker T was a perfect example, and it was the time to put the title on him. And Bischoff didn't want to do it because Hogan wasn't going to lose to Booker T. For reasons we know now. But
I'll just say this. I think Eric Bischoff was still like looking at as like, I'm only looking at yours truly Hogan at the money cash cow. So I'm milking it, and I'm not gonna go against my buddy. Hell no. So
yeah. Well, there's that too.
I think that it comes to him, it makes it very selfishly, and it makes it that, like, in a lot of ways beyond growth. Now, granted, I do see some of that element in AEW to a certain degree. I do see that a lot with WWE. Now, granted, that is slowly changing. I'm just kind of hoping that, you know, companies like to push these stars in the right direction, because I feel like you hold a star too long, it will, in a lot of ways, it's going to hurt your company in the worst way. And I feel like that happened with WWE and WCW.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, I thought if you took away Cody, I didn't believe no one would have beaten Roman. I thought he's going to be champion for a long time. I mean, nobody's over enough that the levels that he's in. I mean, you got
originally it was going to be Wyatt.
Oh, that would have been the one.
Originally it was going to be Wyatt, because even when Paul Heyman was doing the backstage interviews, they were teasing it that they politicked and had Wyatt sent to Raw because they were scared of fighting the Fiend. Because if you remember, when Roman won the title, he didn't beat Wyatt, he beat Strowman. So Roman never beat Bray Wyatt. So you had that story.
Yeah, you had that story. That would be the one I would say. I'm looking at the whole suspension on MJF and the reason on how.
Yeah.
Britt Baker got suspended. I'm just gonna say this right now. Adam is gonna be fuming. I really hope this is just a storyline. But that's just it. Because it would just set up beautifully on Adam's return. But I mean, how would you feel if this was just a storyline purposes?
I've seen worse things. So like the Jack Perry all-in footage, that was worse. So I think they need to stop grasping at straws. Why are you going all these outside sources and trying to break the fourth wall all the time when you have talent and you have creative talent that can come up with good ideas and storylines?
Yeah, I agree with you.
It doesn't make sense when you have creative storylines that you could really do something with, but then you're gonna go Jerry Springer style with your freaking backstage shit.
The reason this is the only thing I can think of, and that is Tony Khan's pushing a realistic idea. Have where they had a falling out, and then you have Adam Cole get all pissed off, and he comes after MJF, and make it feel like more of a realistic sport, because situations like a boxing or MMA have a problem backstage where they get someone's face, or they have something where it's direct, that's outside of the ring, that's outside of the company, and they have a falling out, or they said something, and overall, the fireworks go off. That's something I believe, and I think that works because it makes it more excitement, because it feels like, okay, this is more than what it seems. It tricks the consumer to this. Is this a storyline, or is this a real thing? And that's something I feel like.
Now, if you had this happen on TV, that would be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all internet, social media, all that crap. So it's like a lot of people follow them.
I get what you're saying, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. What's his face? Nate's statement definitely warned me. I'm like, Nate warned me, like, I told you this was gonna happen. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yet again, what does this mean on the match? Does that mean it's dispendable? It's not happening, or will Mercedes fight Britt Baker, or no, it won't happen?
When they try to continuously make Tony Khan the babyface, it just, no, he should have been the heel. Not only should he been the heel, he should have. You want them talking about trying to recreate an NWO storyline? You should have had him as the top guy in the Elite, and then it makes a little more sense.
No, Josh. I meant to say, what does this mean with Mercedes and Britt Baker's match? Does this mean that match will happen or not? I'm a little confused on that one. I mean,
well, Mercedes has been trying to get out of the match, so.
So you think? So this is them saying, well, Tony Khan pretty much did Mercedes a favor. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. I still want Karshida facing Mercedes because I believe those two talent are the only ones that could. I believe Karshida, in my opinion, could match Mercedes on many ways, on not just in skill but also on just wanting the sheer determination of wanting to get to be champion. And I think it would be great. Plus, I think Mercedes would kind of respect Akashida, but I could be proven wrong with that one. I mean, she's a handful. That's all I'll say. She's a handful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sheeta's amazing. She's probably one of my favorite women's wrestlers in the world, let alone in AEW.
I'll say this: I wouldn't go against her to go to WWE because I think that if she goes to WWE, you can have that match because she's expressed interest to go have Akari. Sensei, I forget her name. In WWE to have a match with Karshida. I think that would be great.
Oh yeah,
Kyrie.
that'd be cool. Oh yeah, I'd love that. Her against Kyrie, Sheeta against Asuka, Sheeta against Io. Like I'd love any of it.
And I did also found out Asuka and her definitely had history together. I'm like, oh, so you had history with each other. Oh, that's cool. So it would be really interesting. But yeah, I mean, like, I just hope that she stays in for a long period of time. But yet again, it's going to get to that point where a lot of wrestlers are going to come and go in AEW. And I feel like it's going to happen more than later because I feel like Sammy is going to leave. He's got nothing left in AEW. The only thing I feel like he didn't do was becoming a champion, but I'm like, yeah, he didn't really need to become champion because he was already a champion level. I mean,
Guevara?
Yeah, Sammy Guevara. I mean, I think Sammy
Guevara would be amazing in NXT.
I think he'll be amazing in Raw.
Well, yeah, you could put him anywhere in WWE, but like if you start him at NXT and him really refine that character, like.
Oh yeah, I can see. I get what you're saying. Josh, Nate, you're there now. Nate?
He'll do that. I'll add him and he'll go silent for a little bit.
Yeah, it's freaky.
Hello.
All right. So
I was about to say, I'm like, I guess he didn't like my Tony Khan cocksucker.
Listen, you already know my history with Khan. Khan sucks. He's a terrible booker.
no, and Nate knows this. I had a fantasy booking of if Sheeta went to WWE, this is going to sound funny. You replace Dakota Kai with Sheeta, have her as the pseudo leader of the new Damage Control because she speaks English better than anybody else.
That is true.
She could interpret.
I think
because, so the last promo they did with Damage Control, so they're all talking Japanese, and then Dakota Kai starts talking English. And you can tell when Dakota Kai's looking at them talk, she doesn't understand a damn word that they're saying.
She got a blank look like, huh?
Yeah, that
was you could have Rashida literally come in and literally look at them, and they look at her, and that both of them are going to be loving each other like fucking sisters.
Yeah, like when Jade Cargill came in and her and Charlotte had that stare down. I want to see that with Sheeta coming in with freaking Asuka and them. That would be great.
That would be funny.
Oh, God. Now I'll be like, I'm going in.
All right, so let me get back to the predictions. Let's see what else we got. Punk versus Drew with CM Punk as the special guest referee.
You mean Seth Rollins?
Yeah, Seth. My bad. Punk versus Drew with Seth Rollins as the referee.
Seth is gonna cost CM Punk.
So Drew for the win. Yeah, I agree. I think that's how it's gonna go down.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen, but yet again, it's a little predictable. I'm going with Punk. Something's going to happen to where Seth is going to cause something to where Drew is going to lose again.
That's also true.
I would not trust Seth Rollins if my life depended on it, especially with Punk. It's like, oh, you are fucked, regardless what. And you really think Seth is going to be okay with the last time? You really got stupid. He's going to be like, he gave you that title. He put out his entire soul in that match. He cried like a bitch. And he gave you it, and you fucking lost it. It's going to be very much like payback for bitch. I believe Punk is going to win. I believe that this makes sense storyline, and that goes to where Drew McIntyre goes after Seth, and then after that, then you have him become champion. It's a long game, but it's worth it. I would play that. Reggie would piss off people, but it'd be worth it. That's how I would go.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So for the next one, we got Logan Paul defending the U.S. title against LA Knight.
Logan Paul is going to win. No, I'm sorry. LA Knight, he gets the title finally. That's his first major title.
Yeah, I got to go with LA Knight, too.
Yeah.
That guy deserves a champion. I need him as champion.
Yes, I agree.
He got himself over, and I'm like thinking,
listen, he got himself over as Eli Drake.
Oh, that too.
Oh, yeah, you're going to say the TNA reference. All right. So we got two more. Next one, Damian Priest defending his world title against Gunther.
Damian Priest wins.
I got Gunther.
No. The reason why Damian Priest is going to win because then it's going to be Bash in Berlin. Then that's when Gunther wins.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think it's the time for Gunther to win it.
And that's why I'm saying.
I forgot. We got Sami Zayn defending his title against Braun Breaker.
Breaker. I gotta go with Breaker.
Yeah, I gotta go with Breaker because where they're doing the Bloodline storyline, I think they're gonna not have the title on them.
And that's when you need to do it because.
Yeah. All right. So for the main event, we got Cody defending his title against Solo Sikoa. Who you guys got?
Cody.
I'm going with this is just me, and I really want this to happen. It will give Cody benefit this, and Roman. I want Solo to win.
Listen, I want.
And let me explain.
Go on.
And this would give more seats. I wanted this. I had a similar mindset with Logan Paul, with Cody. I'm going to go with this one. It will give more money where Cody loses the title. Have that huge, he lost against him. And then
you want heel Cody again? Oh my!
Of course he does. That was of course.
Oh yeah, that's right. The AEW fans, they always wanted Cody to go heel.
And above all, Cody loses his mind, and he gets all upset. And this is after Roman comes in, literally shows up, and he believes Cody is just literally in that face that he had in WrestleMania the first time around, but 10 times more. Covering his face, crying like a baby because he lost. And Roman raises his hand and reaches out to get Cody, and they're going to go after him. So that would be the hanger going forward. It would be a long-term direction to work all the way up to WrestleMania. you have Cody try to get the title back. He doesn't. Roman.
That's interesting.
That's what I want. I want that shit because not only give you TV revenue, because let's look at the ratings. Not so great on that. You need something that will get people watching. You need to have that. You don't have that. I mean, who gives a shit? That's the problem. But more likely, it's going to be Cody wins. Rowan shows up, and we deal with the Bloodline Civil War story. Which,
I think Cody's going to keep the belt until he faces The Rock, because that was, Rock said he comes back, he's coming for his title. So I think it's going to be champ versus people's champ. And they're going to put both belts on the line.
Fuck Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, but I want to see Cody with that people's championship.
How do you feel about that, Nate? Nate. How do you feel about my idea? Do you think my idea is better than what?
I like it, but it gives me Jeff Hardy vibes, like Antichrist Jeff Hardy.
I mean, granted, you can make Cody heel, but that's how. But I would do it long term, like later on, he slowly loses it, like. When Homelander is literally losing it, can't take the pressure, that's how I would go for it.
Yeah. I don't get why people want Cody heel. Been there, done that, seen it a million times over.
We saw this already.
A lot of people want him to go heel. Elite ain't the only one, but I'm I don't get it.
Well, the reason why I want him to go heel is I want him to go. If you're painting a picture of yourself as Homelander, people comparing him to Homelander hard, I would catch into. I would want to utilize it as money. Now, granted, at the same time, it's going to kill your merchandise on being a babyface, because babyface on him, he's literally.
But here's the thing: who's your babyface that you're going to have that say, oh, that's going to replace Cody?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
But like I said, I feel like if I was them, I would get the move, but then not let Cody trust Roman, because remember, he has the eyes in the back of his head, because you remember what remembers what he did with and during the entire WrestleMania thing. But the thing about it is, this is just between Solo. This is between Solo and what's his face. And then, lastly, and surely not least, and then you see out of nowhere, then you have the match, and then you have the person who is making the bloodline in the first place, which is The Rock. And that's when you get it at January. September, January, bam, you got The Rock as the leader of the new bloodline, Basically the nation before.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So it'll be interesting. Tomorrow's SummerSlam. We're going to see how it all plays out. We're going to be doing a watch party on this channel, so you guys more than welcome to come back.
Listen, my girl Liv Morgan is going to get her due, and finally, so that people can shut up and talk about how terrible of a wrestler she is.
And I'll finally get my, I think Charlotte's going to come back, and we're finally going to get Liv versus Charlotte. So,
which we should have done in the first place. Literally, the promo right there.
Long-term storytelling.
Exactly. The promo right there just tells you everything you want to know. No one likes the idea.
But we're going to wrap it up. Been about 2 hours. I'll probably be back later, maybe do some video game streaming. Thank you, Nate, for joining me. Thank you, Elite, for hanging out. Thanks, Max, for stopping in. I appreciate all you guys. But we'll be back well, I gotta get with Nate and see what time we're gonna actually do the watch along, because the freaking kickoff show starts at 4 p.m.
Which makes no god. I was like, these kickoff shows are ridiculous.
Yeah, so we might get on there. Might get on there at 6 or whatever time's good for you.
Yeah,
All right.
Be a good time.
And I gotta work in the morning to get party food. So yeah, there we go.
Wings.
Oh yeah,
never have enough wings.
You can never have enough wings. Great idea. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. I wanted to do a predictions all week, but and then we had good wrestling talk, so that was fun. We had to come out of it. Basically, all promotions have their ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
They all got their ups and downs, but it's exciting to see what happens. And just remember, when you say his name, he will appear.
And his name is Joe Hendry.
But thanks, guys. I'm going to call it. We've been about 2 hours, but I had I always have fun doing this. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Yep. We out.
Out.